So in this lecture, the topic is area of plane regions. More precisely, we will use definite integrals to compute the area of plane regions in different situations. So let's first review what's the definite integral. So this is the formula of a definite integral. So if we assume f is always positive or 0, and we consider this region bounded by the graph of f, the x-axis, and these two vertical lines, x equals to b and s equals to a, then we call this region R. So if we want to compute the area of R, so because the shape of R is irregular, so we don't have a good formula to compute it. So the idea is, first, we try to cut R into several small pieces with the same width. So for example, if I cut it into 4 pieces, then we call the width delta x. So then for each small pieces, here we have R1, R2, R3, and R4. We use rectangle to approximate each piece. And here, the height of a rectangle is given by the function value of some point. So for example, if I put here, and I choose here, so this point, we call it S1 star, S2 star, S3 star, and S4 star. So then we try to use the area of a rectangle to approximate the area of each piece. So we know that the area of rectangle is given by the height multiplied by the width. So this is the formula. So actually this is the width, or it's just delta x, and this is the height. So this part is just the area of one rectangle. Then we sum up to get a total area. And there is some error between this area and the original area. But if we cut as many rectangles as we want, or if we take a limit n equals to infinity, then the error will disappear. So the limit becomes the area of this region, or the definite integral, in this case, denotes the area. So for example, if we give a example like for example, if a function is 3x squared plus 1, and we know that it's always positive, and if we consider the range like 1 to 2, then we have this region, and the area is, we integrate from 1 to 2 for this function. So we know that the area is 8. So now, if we want to generalize this idea to more general functions, so maybe we can come back to observe the formula again. here, this is the area of a rectangle. And we know that a rectangle is determined by 4 sides. So this term determines the width, and this term determines the height. Actually, this is the difference between the top and the bottom. So more precisely, in the previous example, because the bottom is the x-axis, so the height at this point is 0. So we can write in this way. So now, if we have more general functions, like if we assume f is negative, now f is below the x-axis. So if we use the same idea, we cut into small pieces, and we use some rectangle to approximate it. And in this case, the height of a rectangle actually is 0 minus fxi star. So now, the area, if we want to compute area, we need this term rather than this term. So by definition, actually this is equal to the integral of negative f of x from a to b. So for example, if now our f is like 5 minus 3x squared, and we consider x between negative 1 to 1. Then the area is given by integrate from negative 1 to 1. Then now, because f is negative between on this interval, so we need to integrate the negative of f. So the result is also 8, and the graph looks like this way. Now, if we consider more general situations, if we have two functions, and we assume f is always less than g on the interval ab, and I is a region bounded by x equals a, s equals b, y equals f of s, y equals g of s. Like this. So again, if we want to compute the area, so use the same idea. We try to cut into small pieces and use several rectangles to approximate it. So again, the term we have is the area of a rectangle. And now we may shift in different positions, but the formula of the area of rectangle is the same. So what do we have with so now the height is given by g minus f at some point. This is the height. The y's are the same. So then, after taking limit, actually this term is an integral of the function g minus f. So use this formula, we can compute an area for more general situations. For example, if we have like f of x is equal to x cubed minus x plus 2, and g of x is just 2. So let's draw the graph first. This is a polynomial of degree 3. So the graph looks like this way. And this is just a horizontal line. And it's easy to see that they have 3 intersection points, and it's given by -1, 0, and 1. So we want to compute the region bounded by these two curves. So we want to compute the area, the total area of these two parts. So from -1 to 0, the curve f is greater than g. But from 0 to 1, g is greater than f. So we need to set up different formulas for the area. So for this part, it's given by, we integrate from -1 to 0, and we subtract the bottom from the top. So it's f minus g, or x cubed minus x plus 2 minus 2. And for the second part, we need to subtract f from g. So if you do some computation, you will get this is one half. I just skip the computations. So use this idea, we can generalize the formula for areas to more general situations. So now, let me give you one more example. So now if our region is bounded by y squared equals 4x and 4x minus 3y equals 4. So y is a parabola. And the other one is a line. And if we solve these equations, we can see that they will intersect at these 2 points, 4, 4, and 1, 4, negative 1. So now this is the region we want to compute. So again, we can use the same idea. So here in this region, the range is from 0 to 4. And the top function is this part. If you use this, you can solve it. This one will give you 2 parts. So the top one is y equals square root of 4x. And the bottom part is negative square root of 4x. So if you integrate from 0 to 1, when x is between 0 to 1/4, the top is square root of 4x. The bottom is negative square root of 4x. So we need to separate into 2 pieces. The first piece is given by 0 to 1/4. And the difference between these 2 functions. The second piece start from 1/4 to 4. And then the top one is square root of 4x. The bottom one is here. So here, y is equal to 4x minus 4 over 3. So we can use this way to compute this area. But there's the other way to do it. So now, rather than consider x as a variable, if we consider y as a variable, so we try to cut this piece in this direction. So the rectangle we will have looks like this way. So if we use this approach, now the range we need to consider is a range of y. So it starts from y equals negative 1 to y equals 4. So now everything should be functions of y. So now, use this approach, we integrate from negative 1 to 4. And now the top is the line here. And the bottom is the parabola. So because now y is available, so the formula of the line becomes x is a function of y. So we will say that x is equal to 4 minus 3y over 4. So this is the top function we have. Now here, the bottom one is the parabola. Again, we consider it as a function of y. So now the function we want is x equals y squared over 4. And here denotes the variable. So the same area, we can use the other way to compute it. And use this approach we just need one equation, one integrals. So, using this idea, we can see that actually all the idea comes from the definition of definite integrals. But the only thing we need to know is we need to pick the variable correctly, and then we need to determine the top, the bottom, and the range of this function correctly. Then we can compute the area by definite integrals.